Welcome, everyone. Please rise as you're able and willing and join in singing hymn number 355, We Lift Our Hearts in Thanks. I am Klaus Obermeit, chair of our worship committee. We are responsible for the service when our settled minister, Reverend J. Whaley, is out of the pulpit. Jay is currently on study leave. We especially want to welcome our visitors, both over live stream through one of these cameras and on campus. That includes our musicians, all of whom are returning to our sanctuary. Christine Bruno at the piano is filling in for Don Bryn. She'll be back for the next 2 Sundays. Passerine, on the second row here, is back as well, having just returned from Asheville, North Carolina. They've also had some engagements in Europe. We'll be hearing more from them shortly. We invite our visitors to participate in any of our events. We welcome visitors to find out more about us and Unitarian Universalism. We invite you to consider registering on our virtual guest book, which you can find via a link on the homepage of our website at uusrq.org on the banner at the top marked Welcome Visitors. If you do, we will send you our weekly newsletter and Zoom links to our virtual events. If you are in person, there's a sign-up sheet for visitors right outside the sanctuary. As always, we invite you to join us after the service for refreshments and conversation in the courtyard. This is the second Sunday of the month, so those refreshments include a whole lunch. If you didn't know about our potluck, please join us anyway. We're always lucky to have enough to share. We look forward to getting to know you. Unitarian Universalism believes in the right of free speech and the democratic process. This from the UUA. Attacks like those at Saturday's political rally weaken democracy, and the Unitarian Universalist Association condemns this attack. At a time when democracy is already at risk, these events will only make our political environment more precarious. As we prepare to meet this moment, we must return to our spiritual grounding and faithful practice. Take a breath, reflect together. Wait for emerging truth over quick speculation. Anchor yourself in communities and relationships that foster resilience, liberation, and strategy. Cultivate nuance and seek out deep wisdom, political analysis, and spiritual grounding, as misinformation will be rampant. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition is rooted in the values of human dignity, justice, compassion, and democratic principles. We will remain vigilant in our commitment to protecting our democracy and the integrity of its principles and the rights of all its people. Let us keep love at the center. We are in this together. That from the UUA. And now, on a lighter note, I have a birth announcement. You laugh. Bob Milner has found a berth in one of the trees in the parking lot for some lovely orchid flowers. It's volunteers like Bob who work tirelessly behind the scenes to help make this a special place. Thank you to Bob and to all of our volunteers. Yes. Speaking of volunteers, Aubrey Phillips has some exciting information to share. Aubrey?
Thank you, Klaus. Good morning, everyone. I'm Aubrey Phillips, your Board of Trustees Secretary and the Democracy Action Team Coordinator, and I've got an exciting update to share with you this morning. As many of you know, we're working to become a recognized Good Trouble congregation and to pass Amendment 4, kicking politicians out of our private medical decisions. And we are making waves. Last Sunday, more than 20 folks spanning more than 60 years in age wrote 300 postcards to their fellow Florida voters. If you missed out, no worries. You can join us today after service, where we'll be back at it in the library and teen room for more postcard writing, music, and snacks. And now, if you've got your planner with you or your smartphone, mark your calendars. Next Saturday, July 20th, from 10 a.m. to noon, we're hosting a Super Saturday Community Day of Action right here on campus. It's your chance to stand up for Floridians' freedom and help end the near total abortion ban in our state. There's something for everyone. No experience is necessary. You'll learn to reach out to voters about Amendment 4 through canvassing, phone banking, and postcards. We've even got childcare and programming for teens. We need your help to make this event a success. So you can sign up at the social justice table to sponsor refreshments, help with setup and cleanup, or welcome participants here for the day's activities. Every role is crucial to pulling off this event successfully. If you're ready to jump in, you can check the contact newsletter, our website, or the social justice table. It's the heartbeat of America. So if you're ready to jump in, check the contact newsletter, our website, or the social justice table for more information and to sign up. As Klaus said, remember, change happens when we act together. We're all part of something bigger here, and achieving our board's goal and stopping government interference in medical decision takes all of us to step up and take action in whatever way fits for us. Who out here is ready to make some good trouble today? Nice. So let's show up, speak out, and create change. Together, we've got this. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. Good morning, everyone. We've had some pretty great conversations about what we would do today as far as music, and we think a message is important to start with, and it's, I think it's very relevant for our time, and I only hope that from that you will listen as we segue in the end to something on a brighter note, but I think this is important information. Storms and fires get worse each day. The water keeps on rising. Another plague takes more weight. It's always others dying. We're here, but we won't face the facts. Wring our hands, but fail to act. Look for hope, then turn on one another. Sickness, lies, religious wars, they haunt our daily feet. Scroll on past and swipe away, buy stuff we don't need. Raise our rifles in the air, casting blame everywhere. Wrap our fear in ignorance and hate. while it's dying right before us, dying right in front of you. Time to know the burden of the wind. Dying right before us, dying right in front of you. Time to hold the burden of our sin. All the sounds around us, cries, howls, barks and growls, trying to arouse us. History the old ones shared, all gone now, we don't care. They were warning us of things to come.
To it. In the early 1900s, humorist Finley Dunne said that the newspaper does everything for us. It runs the police force and the banks, commands the militia, controls the legislature, baptizes the young, marries the foolish, comforts the afflicted, and afflicts the comfortable, buries the dead, and then roasts them afterward. It has been said that the role of the church is also to, quote, comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Today, while not denying the things that afflict us, our goal is to provide some comforting thoughts. In that light, today's affirmation is taken from our new statement of values. It is printed in your order of service and will be displayed on the screen behind you, or behind me, rather. As we light this chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, please join me in affirming the value of generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope.
Good morning. Today's story is That's Good, That's Bad in the Grand Canyon, written by Marjorie Kohler and illustrated by David Cotreau. One day, a little boy and his grandmother rode to the Grand Canyon for their summer vacation. Oh, that's good.
No, that's bad.
As they hiked down Bright Angel Trail, the little boy was careless. Oh dear, he slipped and fell over the edge of the path. Oops. Ooh, that's bad.
No, that's good.
He dropped to the back of a mule, giddy up, that was walking down the switchbacks to the bottom of the canyon. What luck! Ooh, that's good.
No, that's bad.
The mule was so startled that he sped down the trail as fast as he could go, clippity-clop. The little boy held on tight. He jumped and bounced until his teeth rattled and his knees shook, clackety-clack. Ooh, that's bad.
No, that's good.
The mule raced with the little boy to the Colorado River. Trot, trot. When it reached the edge, it stopped suddenly, and the little boy was thrown over its head into a raft being paddled by a group of friendly tourists. Swish, swish. Oh, that's good.
No, that's bad.
The raft drifted into some choppy rapids. The little boy yelled and hollered, "Help!" as the boat hit a big rock. Bump! The little boy flew over the side into the foamy water. Splash! Oh, that's bad.
No, that's good.
The current swept the little boy along and tossed him onto a sandy beach. A helicopter was rescuing some visitors whose boat had capsized. Oopsie daisy. The little boy's backpack got caught on a runner and he was lifted up, up and away. Whoosh! Oh, that's good.
No, that's bad.
As the helicopter picked up speed, the little boy's pack slipped free. Uh-oh, he fell toward a rocky cliff in the valley below. Eee! Oh, that's bad.
No, that's good.
He landed on a waterfall. Splish, splash, he slid down the slippery falls, wee, to the beautiful pool below. What fun. Oh, that's good.
No, that's bad.
The water churned and whirled at the bottom of the falls. Bish, bash, the little boy was thrown under the surface. He spun around as if he were inside a washing machine. Churla, churla. Oh, that's bad.
No, that's good.
A Havasupai Indian fished the little boy out of the water. Thank goodness. He set the little boy on the back of a horse and led him on the trail to the Supai village. Clip, clop. Ah, that's good.
No, that's bad.
The horse stepped on a rattlesnake that was sunning itself on a rock by the path. Ratta, ratta. The horse galloped up the path to the village. Jugga, jugga. Oh, that's bad.
No, that's good.
The little boy's grandmother was waiting for him at the top of the trail. Hooray! The Havasupai had radioed ahead that the little boy was all right. Whew. The grandmother was so happy to see him. She gave him a big hug. Oomph! And then another one. Wow! Oh, that's good.
Yes, that is good.
She set the little boy down off of her shoulders, and that's where he stayed for the rest of the vacation. Sometimes we hear or see things that we just know for sure are either good or bad. And sometimes it seems that we tune in only for those things that we consider good or bad. But life is neither good or bad, but a journey of ups and downs, of challenges and triumphs, of moments of fear and joy. So how can you navigate this bumpy life experience? Well, you can keep an open mind, don't jump to conclusions, look at the big picture and the details, and take action when needed, and always keep love at the center and hope at the center. And I now invite any children who are here to join Ms. Frank and Ms. Vicky in the West Wing, where you can create your own messages of your life's journey for the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Passerine. Consider the words of Henry David Thoreau. The question is not what you look at, but what you see. It is only necessary to behold the least fact or phenomenon, however familiar, from a point a hair's breadth aside from our habitual path or routine, to be overcome, enchanted by its beauty and significance. It is time to take up an offering. This church is supported solely by our members and friends. If you are visiting for the first time, let this service be our gift to you. For the rest of us, please be as generous as you can. For those online or those here on your cell phone, there's a link to donate in the description of the YouTube video or on our website, right under the description of today's service. Let this sacred time begin. Thank you, Christine. One evening, an elderly Cherokee told his grandson about a battle that goes on inside each of us. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves inside us all. One is evil. It is fear, anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about this for a minute, then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one that you feed." Please join me now in a minute of silence as we ponder those choices, followed by the song Spirit of Life.
Was just to test the mic. Wars, disease and famine, climate change, gun violence, anti-gay legislation, anti-Semitism, racial injustice, a broken border policy, taking away women's rights, book bans, giving public money to private schools, rising seas and soaring temperatures, a do-nothing Congress, a polarized and politicized court, tax cheats. Did I miss anything? We're bombarded with negative news daily and have been for years. It's no wonder we're dejected, depressed, demoralized, and despondent. Steve Hayes, the CEO and founder of The Dispatch, an online newsletter, says, "The dominant business model in journalism today requires journalists to add layers of anger and outrage to get you to click on an article or provoke controversy in order to monetize your attention." When the negative gets in the way of our seeing the positive, we can lose hope. We can be blinded by darkness. My purpose here today is to present inventions, discoveries, and advances that give me hope, and hopefully will give you hope, that not all is not lost, that there are wonderful things in the works, and that it will improve our lives, ours and others throughout the world. Many of these are in the trial or preliminary stages. Many will be deemed impractical, but others, when they can be implemented on a large scale, will change our lives. I've chosen to look at two main areas, climate change and healthcare. Climate change is the existential crisis of our time. It affects everyone on Earth. Healthcare affects our longevity, our quality of life, our finances, and our sense of well-being. I'm wearing this bee for a reason. Raise your hand if you think that the bee colonies have been decimated and jeopardized because they're pollinators, just jeopardize our crops. Well, that's what we've been told for years. But do you know that in the last 5 years, over 1 million newly discovered bee colonies have been identified, and each one has at least 20,000 and up to 80,000 bees? Of course you don't know that, because you don't hear, breaking news, the bees are back. We hear the bad news, and then we don't hear the updates. As they say, if it bleeds, it leads. Are you aware that Biden has launched the American Climate Corps to train young people in clean energy, conservation, and climate resilience skills and create good-paying jobs that tackle the climate crisis? In its first year, American Climate Corps will put more than 20,000 young people on career paths in the growing fields of clean energy, conservation, and climate resilience. It's the largest investment in climate action ever, and it will result in every state and Puerto Rico. It will take place. Participants will not only learn skills and earn money, they will be fast-tracked into well-paying government jobs. Over 50 cities have ditched parking requirements, allowing developers to determine how much parking is enough parking, particularly for buildings near public transportation. It leaves room for green space, dog parks, more housing and recreation. Walmart plans to install thousands of charging stations, and the government will give Tesla millions of dollars for greatly adding to our number of charging stations as long as they accommodate other vehicles. Wildlife corridors are being built over freeways and highways. Not only do they prevent car and animal collisions, they prevent interbreeding that causes generic mutations and weakness in the herds. Over 100 new species have been discovered in the ocean, and a record number of sandhill cranes set off migration this season. Overfishing has dropped to a new low. 94% of fish stocks were not subject to overfishing, an all-time low. As a result, NOAA has removed multiple species from the overfished list. Have you heard about amphibious houses? They have sensors to detect water and trigger the house to start lifting in just 15 seconds. They float like houseboats on top of the water. Over 2.5 million people in the US were displaced due to weather, most of it water damage, just last year. Land and water is being set aside in Hawaii, California, Lake Ontario, and can you believe it, Florida, to protect wildlife and marine life. The Fed's goal is to protect and conserve 30% of US land and water by 2030. The seed vault on the Arctic island gained a record number of new seeds. In Kenya, the black rhino population dwindled down to 400 in the 1980s due to poaching. Now they are thriving, and wildlife management is trying to disperse them across larger swaths of land. Q cabins are being developed by a California company. They are 100% non-combustible, built with over 50% recycled materials, hurricane resistant up to 190 miles an hour, and are tsunami resistant. The homes average 1,500 square feet and can be built in 1 week with a crew of 4. The ozone layer is healing faster than predicted due to global cooperation. What does the Vatican, Albania, Bhutan, Nepal, Paraguay, Iceland, Ethiopia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo have in common? They all generate at least 99.7% of their energy from renewable sources of power. And 40 more countries generated at least 50% of their electricity from renewable sources just between 2021 and 2022. Pope Francis is even building a solar power plant. But we don't hear that in breaking news. And now for healthcare. At the Mass General Center, a particularly aggressive type of brain cancer with a survival rate of only 12 to 15 months disappeared in 5 days with CAR-T technology. It bolsters the body's immune system by making small changes to T cells and then putting them back in the body where they attack the cancer. Blood tests can now predict dementia more than a decade before official diagnosis. A drug, whose name I can't pronounce, can reduce stress on the oxidative systems in your body and reduce free radicals in the brain. 12 weeks saw improved cognitive performance and memory. A blood test that can detect colorectal cancer is nearing FDA approval. It has been shown to detect 83.1% of cancers and requires no preparation. The FDA has concluded that it's safe and that its benefits outweigh the risks, and anyone who has suffered through a colonoscopy prep should rejoice. A man paralyzed from the neck down has learned to walk again after receiving his own modified stem cells from the Mayo Clinic in a 10-person experiment. 1 in 500 babies are born with hearing loss or develop it early in life. It's caused by a faulty gene that prevents the ear from communicating to the brain. Now doctors have injected a harmless virus and a working copy of the gene into the ear. After 6 months, the baby had almost normal hearing, including hearing whispers. A robotic video camera the size of a multivitamin can be used to detect disease early, replacing endoscopy. It's called the PillBot and is remotely controlled. A single pill with a day's worth of medication is on the horizon, so all of you who have taken multiple pills can only just take one. It can be customized to each person with their daily medications. I like this one. For those with high blood pressure who have been told by their doctor to reduce salt intake, there's now a spoon that makes food taste saltier without you having to add salt. These trials, developments, and inventions aren't enough to save us from ourselves. Government has to do more. Government must set clean air, water, and soil standards, track and test compliance, and find companies that don't comply, or shut them down. We have a long way to go, but it's important for our mental health to acknowledge progress, seek it out, and allow it to give us hope and balance the negative news that washes over us every day. And for the ultimate piece of good news, Mexico, our neighbor to the south, is comprised of 82.5% Catholics. It also has a built-in machismo culture that has made men superior in their culture for generations. Well, Mexico just had an election. And guess what? They elected their first woman president. And she's Jewish. And she's a climate scientist and has a doctorate in energy engineering. Now that's what I call progress. I'll leave you with a story. There was a family with twins, and they were identical, except for one of them was a supreme pessimist. No matter what happens, he saw the downside of it. He would complain and whine. The other one was the total optimist. No matter what happens, he saw the bright side, the sunny side of life. Well, the parents were a little concerned because they wanted to even out their temperament a bit and get them to be more realistic. So for their birthday, they got 2 identical boxes. And for the pessimist, they put in there, "Congratulations, you're now the proud owner of a pony." For the optimist, they filled it with horse manure. The birthday came, and the pessimist opens the box, says, "A pony? I don't want a pony. I'd have to get a part-time job and feed him and comb him. He's going to probably throw me off and I'll break a leg." The parents look over to the optimist and they see him furiously digging through the box. They say, well, aren't you disappointed in your gift? And the optimist says, are you kidding? With all this manure in here, there must be a pony in here somewhere. So I think the moral of the story is, no matter how dire things appear, no matter how negative they are, and they are, never stop looking for the pony. He's out there somewhere. And now one more song from my favorite Sarasota group, Passerine.
We'd like to tell you just a little bit about this song. And Doug, I'm going to get back up here when I'm done. Don't close me out. We know that we're in a beautiful house of diversity and cultural differences, and how we speak about a higher power has many different views. The word God is in this song a few times, and this is out of complete respect for David's sister, who this second verse is written for and about. So we just want to let you know that that's for her and our love for her. So here we go with that. I'm coming back up. Yeah.
Should stay there.
No, I can't do that. I'll fall down. The song is called Welcome Home.
Had a friend, he always smiled, kept good company, that our hearts called us brother, sister. The man knew no enemy. If you ever needed him, he was just a call away. Tell you he's so proud of you, and he'd say, welcome home. Our door is always open. We're so glad you made it. Bring your love inside. We'll tell stories. Be grateful for this bounty. Raise our glass to heaven. Thank you for this time. Our sister's house is where the family gathered, full of grace, a place of love and light. We found comfort, food and conversation, quiet joy, shared by firelight. If you ever needed her, the home she made was always there, as open as her heart would be when she'd say, welcome home. God is always present. He'll take your burdens, ease your mind. Know God loves you just as I do, my good and faithful servant. Thank you for this time. When all the world seems torn by anger, stuck in sickness, suffering, and loss. Still circle the unbroken, there's healing in His place. We make His love more than ever. We have needed this. Stone becomes our saving grace. We learn to treasure every moment here when we sing, welcome home. The door is always open. We're so glad you made it. Bring your love inside. We'll share our stories. Be grateful for this bounty. Raise our glass to heaven. Thank you for this time. 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 And welcome home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastorine. We're glad that you're here. Thank you for this time. My name is Klaus. I am an apocaholic. This is my story. What is an apocaholic, you ask? Why, it's someone who believes in the apocalypse. Okay, so what's the apocalypse? It's the term for the end of the world, the huge battle of Armageddon and mass destruction, when the world is rescued from total annihilation by the return of Jesus Christ. Now, I'm a recovered apocaholic. I don't believe that stuff anymore. But a recent poll has found that nearly 40% of adult Americans are apocaholics. They believe we are living in the end times. Think about it. 2 of 5 Americans believe the end of the world is near. For me, I got addicted when I was 12 years old. My father began listening to the World Tomorrow radio show. Later, it added the World Tomorrow television program, featuring Herbert W. Armstrong and his son, Garner Ted. The program would eventually expand to 382 U.S. television stations and 36 television outlets internationally. It was the prophetic outreach of the Worldwide Church of God. They also produced a slick monthly magazine, The Plain Truth, which reached millions of readers around the world. In addition to the English language version, there were Spanish, French, and German versions. The magazine was mailed free of charge to anyone who requested a subscription. In addition to that, the church offered numerous free booklets, including 1975 in Prophecy. You see, late in the 1950s and 60s, it looked like the end might come in 1975. Remember those days? Race riots in the streets, the war in Vietnam, the Cold War's threat of nuclear annihilation and nuclear winter, and what was called the moral decline of America with the sexual revolution. It all fit in with Bible prophecies about the end times. Now, I'm a recovered apocaholic. I haven't fallen off that wagon for a very long time, but I understand the condition because I've lived it. For me, it began with the church's booklets, Does God Exist? And the Proof of the Bible. Once you accept those as being true, you're subject to whatever the Bible says, and you soon discover all kinds of things in that book. Matthew 24 tells us the disciples came to Jesus and asked him, what would be the sign of the end of the age? He answered them and said, you will hear of wars and rumors of wars, for nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, And there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Does it sound familiar yet? For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. It sounds like nuclear winter, doesn't it? But for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. Jesus warned his disciples to be ready because he would return at an hour you do not expect. The early church was told that his return was imminent. 1 Thessalonians 4:17 says, after that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Christians call this the rapture. Baptists teach this. There are a number of Baptist churches in Sarasota, including First Baptist Church right on Main Street. Others think that Jesus will return to earth and establish a 1,000-year reign called the millennium. When you see the Jehovah's Witnesses with their display of literature, that's what they are promoting. Of course, the Bible is not all doom and gloom. There are many passages which tell of God's love for all humanity, a teaching that condemns racism and prejudice. And if you are one of the lucky ones to survive the apocalypse, you get to enjoy utopia. One of the final chapters of the book tells of a time when, quote, God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. The Bible also admonishes us to look on the positive here and now. The Apostle Paul writes in Galatians 5 that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Let's end this service with a famous hymn about surviving and thriving. Please rise as you're willing and able and join in singing hymn number 205, Amazing Grace. Consider the words of Philippians 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Please join me now as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of community. These we carry in our hearts till we are together again. Thank you very much. Go in peace. Enjoy lunch. Have a nice day.